Welcome back.
Back on the Drive-In Asylum double feature, still reeling from after effects of Toby Hooper's bravura Eaten Alive. And welcome back, Sam and Neon Brainiacs, Ben Deedles, and Greg Harrington.
What's up, everybody?
Hello.
You guys made it. They made it to the third segment. This is super exciting. I'm excited.
Hey,
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
We did it. I'm excited.
We did it.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of the movie?
Loved it. Yeah, it was even better than I remembered, to be honest with you. It's just it's just lovely. I don't know. Like so much to laugh about, so much to enjoy. Um, love that crocodile. What can I tell you?
Oh, he pops up and he has great timing, great comic
Great
timing.
comic timing. And I gotta mention something that Greg said during the feature that what's his face looked just like a you say it, Greg. I don't want to steal
So
your line.
yeah, the guy that owns the hotel, I came to the realization that he kind of looked like one of the Hanson brothers if Rob Zombie had directed Slapshot.
Yeah. Yeah. So I couldn't stop thinking of that watching it. And it made the experience even more enjoyable for me. So yeah, lovely. Robert Englund's never looked better.
Yeah.
He's
And-
never been more unlikable either.
Yeah. And tidy whiteys. I mean, what can I say?
Yeah, that's not usually his shtick to be the villain. Well, other than Freddy,
Well,
Yeah.
obviously, but
Yeah.
he was like Willie on V, and he had a nice guy role in Galaxy of Terror. So this was nasty.
Yeah.
I think the person that had the toughest ride in this movie is obvious. Well, I don't know. Everybody kind of had a rough one, but Kyle Richards had a really rough role in this. The other thing that freaks me out about it is when Marilyn Burns finally gets released, her legs are destroyed. Like you can see all the cuts in her legs. It's really grisly, and not many other directors would add that level of just disgustingness. And yeah, I really dig that.
Yeah. Yeah, Toby knows how to really crank it up. So yeah, it's just fun. This one's just fun. I don't know. It's
Everybody's super sweaty too. It's like all that bar scene, everything feels disgusting. Like that's what Becca said. She said, I don't like animal movies. And this movie's just gross the whole time. Everybody's gross. and she said, it feels like grosser than a Rob Zombie movie. And I said, yeah, that's pretty much it.
I couldn't stop commenting on all the different beer signs that we saw in the bar.
Yep.
All of the old school light up ones. There was like Miller Lite. There was Olympia beer in there.
There's a Dos Equis one in the
Yeah,
background
like
too.
Dos Equis. There was Pabst. All that. Like it was just like all these beautiful light up beer signs. I feel like you don't see those a lot anymore. So I was like very impressed by that. Yeah.
I also love that the music is just out of control. It's either like, well, there's that Mexican song that's playing near the end that's wild, and then it's like country ballads, and then every once in a while, like just the music just gets nuts and like just weird synth and whooshing, and it's pretty wild.
Yeah, I did feel bad for that poor little girl the whole time, but
Poor Kyle Richards.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
She's still working it out in therapy.
Yeah. More than likely, yes.
She took this experience into her role in Real Housewives, and she just abuses everybody else. She's like, I was stuck under a fucking house with Neville Brand trying to stab me with the sickle, and then a giant alligator or crocodile. The movie's never sure. It never is like, is it? Could be either. Comes after. Yeah, it's great. That also, what appetite does that crocodile have? Like it eats like numerous people on the same night.
It's Hungry Croc. I say it's like
Yeah,
it's like hungry hippos, but instead of a hippo, it's a crocodile or an alligator or whatever.
That's the game. Like how they made Jaws. Why did they make an Eaten Alive hungry hippo?
Yeah,
Which is Hungry Crocodile.
we can still make one. We can do it.
Yeah,
He ate him clothed and everything. Like an alligator wouldn't eat the entire body, or crocodile, whatever. They're not going to swallow you whole. Or...
No.
well, they didn't finish the leg. I love the end. That leg's floating in that multicolored swamp.
It's for later. Save it
Yeah.
for later.
Also, the colors in this movie, I was gonna say beautiful. I don't know if they're beautiful, but they're really wild. And like there's so much fog, and just so much, just everything happening. Toby Hooper's a fog crazy person because he did the scene in Salem's Lot where the fog comes behind the kid when he's floating out the window, and it's swirling around him. Like he knows how to use fog in the best of ways.
Arguably the best scene in that movie, but yeah,
Yeah.
the TV series or whatever, you know.
This
So
movie
here's
is
my theory on. Go
this
ahead,
is a beautiful movie. I would
Yeah.
call it beautiful.
Yeah,
Just because of the way it's just, I mean, it's so interestingly lit. You guys mentioned the beer signs, but even in that scene, you can tell that there are red lights focused on some of the characters, and that makes it really kind of the whole thing is just surreal. Not only that, but, you know, everything is surreal in the movie. The music, the sound design, the acting is over the top to the extreme. The story is ridiculous. It just keeps getting like bigger and bigger and bigger.
What I like about it is there's stuff in it that is unexplained. Like, why is the lady that runs the whorehouse? Why does she have a visor on? Why does she have giant scars all over her face? Why is she dressed like that? And it's just so odd that it's just from another world. Like, imagine if this was real and you were Mel Ferrer's character, and you're like, I don't know where my daughter is. And why are they putting this like wax creature in front of me to like ask me if I want to buy property? Like, it's the weirdest. Like, weird shit just happens. And
yeah. Somebody's commenting about the dog, like why kill a dog and a thing. I mean, it's like, the dog was fine. It was okay.
I don't think the dog was fine.
I mean, in real life, it was fine. Yeah. It's
The
just,
dog
it's a movie.
looked really big once the croc had it in its mouth. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
And it kind of looked like a duck-billed platypus, the croc.
Mm-hmm.
There was one scene where the snout looked like a duck.
Yeah.
We got so many friggin' dead animals in the first like 10 minutes. I was like, did we watch the Umberto Lenzi movie by accident? Like, what happened?
Yeah. No, he said you would have really seen the animals
Yeah.
killed for real. If we got the Lenzi one.
I
Your
was
skin
sad
would
about
still be crawling.
Yeah, I was sad about the monkey, but
That monkey was depressed as
Yeah.
fuck.
yeah.
Even before dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the animal deaths in movies are always the cheapest ways to prove who the bad guys
Yeah.
are. It's like, you know, that's how you tell the difference between Friday the 13th and Halloween. Michael Myers kills dogs. Jason doesn't.
Jason does not. Yeah.
Mm-mm. I think you guys brought that up. I think when you did the episode of Friday 13th 3.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, yeah, they're fine. You know, the dog is really fine in real life.
So technically, the real villains in the original Friday the 13th would be the counselors because they legitimately killed that snake in the beginning.
Yeah,
It's true.
Bill and I have talked about this a lot. That the kids are the real villains, and they've just driven Mrs. Voorhees nuts. I mean, they were doing their job all those years ago, and if they had just not been fucking and watching her kid, we wouldn't have had all these problems.
It's true. It's true.
I agree with Mike that this movie does feel like it is definitely from another dimension. It is like he said, beam from hell, which is a great way of talking about it. That's the thing, is like nothing really makes sense. And like, yeah, I guess there's a plot, just shit happens. It's like, and if you think about it, this is all within 24 hours. Like within 24 hours, Buck has tried to like assault numerous people.
Yeah.
Some willing, some not willing. Some he paid and weren't willing. You got in fights at a bar. Like, Stuart Whitman's job in this town is never ending. You got 3 businesses. You have a bar where fights happen. You have a whorehouse, and you have a falling down hotel with a crocodile in it. Like, it's a real wild town. There's a lot going on in this town.
Yeah. It's not a job that I would want personally,
No.
but you know, what are you gonna do?
I'm trying to figure out, is this a worse place to stay? Tourist Trap or the weird place in Winter Beast that we showed? They're all really horrible places for you to stay where the owner is upsetting and also has a lot of mannequins just randomly sitting around. If you get to a hotel and there's just a mannequin out in the open, you don't need to stay there. Like someone said before, sleep in the car.
Yeah. Drive down the road, find another place that doesn't have any mannequins or somebody who looks like a Rob Zombie version of the Hanson brothers.
Honestly, I'd probably take my chances with fucking Slauson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. At least you could embed an axe in the back of his head. Like
Drive off with all your mannequin friends at the end.
Yeah.
Neville Brand got what was coming to him, though. The Croc got to eat him. I
Yeah.
like that. That was a.
He's very much the Captain Hook of this movie. Like he's like constantly talking to the. This is my film, my A24 film theory. This is Peter Pan.
This is Peter Pan.
No, it's just a crocodile eats him. That's all.
Yeah. It's a nice comeuppance, So
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
He was feeding everybody to the Croc. He got fed to the Croc. That's how it goes. That's
Love it.
nice.
Circle
You know?
like
That's nice.
I think it was very realistic.
Yeah. It's good.
I also want to know why that house had so much furniture underneath of it. Because why not just throw the furniture away? Like after it's been under the house for a couple of months, you're never going to use that chair again.
Yeah, but is that guy really cleaning anything up? I don't know.
The additional chairs were actually holding up the entire structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, at one point I thought the whole house was going to go when he was cutting away, trying to get through the net. I'm like, the whole house is going to sink at some point.
Yeah. Thank God that chair was there.
Malfoy's death is the most upsetting part of this movie, where the weapon it's so upsetting that Neville Brand gets upset about it. Like he backs off and falls back. He's like, oh shit, I did it now. It's stuck in his neck. And it's like, he's still alive and he's trying to get to him and he can't talk. There's a lot going on in that scene. It's like when you upset the slasher, that's when you know it's a bad kill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was definitely a motif in the film, is that Judd kept being bothered by all these people that were showing up at his place. And I don't know who he wanted to stay there, honestly, because he got a paying customer and he stuck a pitchfork in her.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's no way to treat your guest. And then later on, like he seems to be real picky about who he reveals this lunatic aspect of his personality to. Sometimes he's totally normal and other times he's just batshit crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I really think it depends on his Yelp score that week. Like if it's pretty good, he's like, yeah, you know what? I could be crazy and pull out this big scythe or whatever, sickle, whatever he's got. What is that thing?
Scythe, I think.
A weapon of destruction.
Yeah,
That's
there
what
you
that
go.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His Airbnb, he is an original Airbnb member, and his scores are horrible on Airbnb.
Never stay here. The end.
Don't.
Yeah. So my weird theory about Tobe Hooper is I really do believe Tobe Hooper made every movie he made. I don't believe the Poltergeist
I don't either.
story.
Yeah.
But I always see like a weird parallel between Tobe Hooper and George Romero, because their first movie is arguably, well, Romero maybe a little less, but their first movie is the movie that's always discussed, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like their first movie is like a classic. And I think the difference is like Tobe Hooper left Texas behind and went to Hollywood and brought Texas people with him to varying degrees of success, where Romero stayed here until obviously the last couple of years of his career where he went to Toronto. But like, and I think by and large, it worked better for Romero to remain outside of the system. And I wonder if Hooper had done the same thing, if it would have worked a little better for him. That said, he made, I would argue, oh man, I know a couple people in the chat don't like Life Force. I really like Life Force. I really like Invaders from Mars. I love Chainsaw 2. So I think like up until then, I think he's making really good movies. Mangler's probably the end of movies that you can 100% defend for Tobe Hooper. But I think versus like Romero has the same thing too. I think post maybe Creepshow or Monkey Shines, like it gets a little harder to defend them. But I think he had a longer run and more successes, and maybe being outside. It felt like the Hollywood system really cracked Tobe Hooper a lot of times, and he would leave movies before they were finished, or he was supposed to do other movies and he left them before. Where that happens a little less with Romero.
Yeah, I think Tobe Hooper, and George Romero. That's a good like comparison there. Even though Toby Hooper worked in the studio system, there's still a lot of his stamps on a lot of things. And yeah, I don't know. I think he made some really, really great shit. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't believe the Poltergeist thing really, other than, yeah, I'm sure Steven Spielberg produced the movie and acted as a producer. So, but Texas Chainsaw 2, yeah, I mean, I love that movie. And Life Force is kind of dope too. Yeah, you know.
Mm-hmm. I think when you learn how hard Chainsaw 2 was to make and the conditions they were up against and the timing, it's amazing that it's done. I saw it as a kid before Chainsaw 1. So like I was like, oh wow, like, and I saw Phantasm 2 before 1. Our video store was weird. They just didn't have certain movies. So it was like, oh, like I love these movies. Like, why do people think they aren't as good? Because that was my first experience with these movies. And also, you know, Chainsaw 2's got all the Savini stuff in it. So it's, you know, there's a little gorehound. It was good.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a question.
It's also a movie like this one that is just nonstop wall to wall gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every scene in it is just disgusting. Like the bone rooms, like all the stuff, everything in it feels just filthy and smelly.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bill, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I have a question for our guest, and I'll start with Greg.
Sure.
I wondered if you guys had any particular directors that you were crazy about. I know you guys do a lot of varied movies on your program, so really of any genre, or like what movies turn you on the most? Greg, you go first.
I mean, definitely Carpenter. I actually had a very spirited discussion at work this past week about like what your top 5 Carpenter would be, and it was very difficult.
That's a tough
obviously
one, yeah.
Romero for, you know, blatant reasons that we all have. Stuart Gordon is somebody that I kind of went like, I didn't see his stuff when I was very young, but like kind of seeing like his stuff like as I got older, I definitely think he's kind of like an unsung hero like of genre film at the very least. I'm sure there's a ton I'm forgetting.
And
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah. Sam Raimi was really big for me growing up. Evil Dead 2 was a huge, huge movie, huge inspiration for me to even get into filmmaking, you know, being a horror film fan, all of that. But I'm also a big comedy guy, so I know we were talking about like Ghostbusters stuff earlier, but like Harold Ramis, the big guy for me. I love Caddyshack. I love Vacation. I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, those are like big sort of directors for me. Yeah, like I like that kind of thing. But like horror wise, yeah, like Sam Raimi. Yeah, like I love Evil Dead. I love Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. Like that, it mixes so many things that I like: comedy and horror and gross out and interesting cinematography and all that. Like he's really big for me. But John Carpenter is also as well. Like I'll double down on what Greg said. Like so many Carpenter movies that it's like it's hard to pick like a favorite for me. And yeah. I mean, again, like Greg said, I'm sure there's some like I'm totally forgetting, but yeah, that's definitely my picks, you know.
Oh, excellent.
Now I want to
choices.
know Greg's top 5 favorite Carpenter movies. Now that he,
All right, I think I crystallized it, but it took me like a freaking hour. So I think for me it's The Thing, Halloween, Escape from New York, They Live, and The Fog. But obviously like that number 5 slot is like very hard to like get something concrete in there.
You put They Live over the Fog. That's interesting.
I did because like I like The Fog, and like when it played at the drive-in, what was that, in 2019, and it like started raining and it was like cold, I was like, this is like the greatest 4D experience you could ever ask for. So I think for that, like I think it's like pretty solid, like high up. But yeah, They Live is like like I watch it, like it's got a lot of rewatchability, which like that top four definitely does. Plus, I mean, like, you know, the further time goes on, you're like, why is this still relevant? This is fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm. It actually feels more relevant maybe today
Yeah, for sure.
than it ever
Yeah.
has been. Yeah.
It really does. Yeah, it's tough to pick a lot of Carpenter movies and try to rank them because there's so many that are so good.
Yeah.
You know, like even on your list, they're like Christine is like really big for me.
Prince
Like
of
that was
Darkness.
big. I saw that when I was young, and the you know like Stephen King and John Carpenter coming together, you know, kind of vibe for that is like big. So yeah,
I think too, like he has moments in all of his films that are just so like goosebumpy. You know what I mean? Like in the beginning of Big Trouble when the music's playing and the truck's coming over the hill and that music plays as he comes into town, like that makes me so excited about that movie. Same as Escape is the same way when the music hits in the beginning of Escape and they set up the story before the movie with all the maps and stuff. The first time I saw it when I was a kid, I was like, why did they make movies after this? They could just stop after this movie. It's like the greatest movie ever. And then obviously like Prince of Darkness has one of the most frightening scenes I've ever seen in the movie. Like whenever the anti-god finally shows up and you see the video getting beamed into everybody's brains, it is so fucking weird. And like for a major Hollywood movie, they have, I know it's not a huge budget, but they have that in it. And it's kind of like his Fulci movie or his like, you know, Italian movie almost. And it's really good. I really love that movie. So
yeah.
I probably have rewatched Prince of Darkness way too many times, but
Yeah.
I just love it. It's such a weird movie. A movie about quantum physics.
Yeah.
And killing, yeah.
Yes, I see
Great.
people in the comments, you know, talking about some of their favorite Sam Raimi movies. Another one that Sam Raimi movie that people don't talk about is A Simple Plan. That one is like, I don't know, the vibe of that movie just like bums me the fuck out. Like every time I watch that, and it's like something needs to be said about that. But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of people I'm forgetting. Walter Hill's another big one for me. You know, someone's saying De Palma. Yeah, De Palma's great. You know, like, yeah. I mean, there's just it's tough to pick. You know, it's tough to pick because like I know I'm forgetting shit. I know I am. You know.
Who are yours, Bill?
Lists are bullshit anyway. It's just a way to talk about shit, you know?
Yeah, I know.
I bet I could probably name Bill's, but
I would like you to tell me what they are. I think that's more interesting. Yes,
SF
of
Brown
course.
Rig. And I think who else? John Carpenter. And I'm trying to think who else would be one. Oh, Pete Walker, maybe?
No, but somebody else said it in the chat. His name begins with a C, his last name.
Oh, Cronenberg.
Cronenberg.
Yeah. Cronenberg.
Yeah,
really?
I would have to say that he definitely is one of my favorite directors just because his works are so his stuff is so personal.
Okay, yeah. The older ones definitely I know how much.
That's another thing I was thinking too. Like I don't want to sound like I'm talking shitty about things or anything, but those early films from all of these people that we mentioned, you know, Carpenter, Cronenberg, Sam Raimi, even De Palma.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of his early stuff is the most crucial. I don't know. There's just something about these artists when they're working at the beginning of their careers. And then, you know, somewhere down the road, money and cocaine and everything else starts happening. And
with Raimi, like I never watched Drag Me to Hell because it's PG-13. I'm like, I'm not gonna like it. I finally watched it this year and I loved it. I thought it was really good.
No, it is good. Yeah.
And it's a later one of his. And Mike brought up Justin brought up The Quick and the Dead, which is another one of his that I never watched. That movie's fucking awesome. It's so good.
Yeah. Drag Me to Hell, that's a good call out there. Yeah, because like I remember I was like, I don't know, and then I watched it and I was like, I love this. Yeah, like this is great.
Yeah, like I was like shocked by how much I liked it.
Yeah.
I saw that theatrically when it came out.
When people are young, it's like maybe there's more need to push and prove oneself. You know what I mean? And like you're up against trying to get your art
I
out.
think a prime example of that is somebody like Tim Burton, who like one of my favorite movies of all time is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Like I literally, that is such a fun movie from beginning to end. It still makes me laugh like so hard. You got like Beetlejuice and of course like the first Batman and the first two Batmans, and then like it's somebody who just like he just kind of like nowadays it's like he has his shtick and it's just like he doesn't have that like fire or passion anymore, and you see that with a lot of people, even actors and and directors, artists in general, like they don't have that fire anymore because like they're not trying to prove themselves or they're trying to like get themselves out there. It's like they kind of rest
I
back.
like parts of Big Eyes, but like I feel like like he just makes movies now versus like it felt like all of his movies were so individualistic and really like Edward Scissorhands even has moments of like real beauty.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like a all over the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But like, something like Dark Shadows or whatever, you're like, I don't.
Yeah, I'm good.
Like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, like I don't need that. Like
Planet of the Apes.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I'll pass. But like, you go back and watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and you're like, this is so like inventive and fun, and like, I don't know, there's something about that. Yeah, Beetlejuice, obviously. I mean, like, oh my god, like perfect movie. In my
His
opinion.
Batman ones. Oh,
Yeah, like great.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. Yeah. You see that sometimes with directors, they get a lot of success, and it's just like it's easy to just kind of repeat or like just kind of rest on your laurels, so to speak, and just be like, yeah, this is good enough. Okay,
Yeah.
let me get Johnny Depp and make him act weird for an hour and a half. Yeah, like,
It's probably really hard to be in that position, to be an independent director who made a successful independent movie or two, and then all of a sudden you're working with somebody else's money. I mean, it's always someone else's money, but it's a studio
yeah,
that's going to step in and try and they don't want to hear that it's not going to make money. Like they want to steer this ship in their own direction. So that's probably really difficult to make that transition too.
oh yeah, for sure. You're making a film by committee at that point.
Mhm.
So.
I think somebody that kind of skirts around that would be like a Wes Craven,
Yeah.
who I can't believe I friggin' forgot.
Yeah.
That's one of Sam's favorite directors. Just kidding.
I know. I like his TV movies. I do, and there's some of his movies I really
Big
do
Invitation to Hell fan.
A huge Invitation to Hell. I love that movie.
Summer
And
of Fear.
yeah, I really like it. Yeah, I don't belong to a country club because of that reason. I don't want them to steal my Jupiter suit.
Yeah.
Your Jupiter suit. Funny enough, yeah, we're talking about that on the show in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Oh, really? Oh man, I can't wait. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that movie. It's just fucking weird, and the like as all TV movies should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Craven's good. He's got a couple stinkers in there though. That's a thing.
I mean, who doesn't though? Like,
yeah.
honestly, like the only person I can think of the bat at 1,000, Stephen King.
Yeah. Oh, well, because of Maximum Overdrive.
1 for 1, baby. That's all it needed. One and done.
They're not going to let him anywhere near the director's chair again.
I don't think he wants
That
it.
so the trailer that he made for Maximum Overdrive is the most frightening thing ever. Where he just hooks
Yeah.
up and you're able to get scared.
Just the main credits from Halloween 3 playing in the background.
Oh yeah, it's just like whoa! I don't want to see this movie. It's gonna fuck me up.
That was another driving experience I had a couple years ago. Riverside did that They Live Maximum Overdrive double feature.
Oh man, that's a good thing.
Incredible.
Where were we that night?
I also love that he talked AC/DC into being in the movie by jumping up on the table during their meeting and singing like a B side that never got released in the U.S. And they're like, all right, we will be in it. And then he did Who Made Who, which is the most ridiculous AC/DC song.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Kind of
It's like-
slaps though.
It's like one of the only AC/DC songs I like.
I really like it.
I do like that song.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's got like a weird kind of like sweeping thing in it. That's probably why I like it.
Yeah.
It's good. It's not You Shook Me All Night Long, but that's the most perfect song ever, and I don't mean in a good song. I mean it's a song that can be played anywhere. Like if you go to a wedding, 100% chance you're going to hear it because it's heavy enough for people that are heavy, and it's light enough that people are like, yeah. And the only mitigating factor is the line "Knocking Me Out with Those American Thighs" is a great lyric.
Yeah.
And everything else is, and it's a Veruca Salt album. But other than that, it's not good.
This lovely shot of William Finley screaming was sent to us by viewer Mark
Yeah.
Dockham, who likes to watch the show projected on this big screen. I feel like a drive-in star, Mark. Thanks very much for
It
sharing
looks
this.
like artwork.
Yeah, it does look like a painting. It looks awesome. Yeah. It's very cool.
Speaking of the drive-in, we're going to see you guys at the drive-in pretty soon at the Riverside
Yeah.
Drive-In
That's right.
for the Christopher Lee Centenary celebration. I am so looking forward to this. I can't even tell you.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
should be
what-
fun.
What all they playing again?
What aren't they playing? They're playing Curse of Frankenstein. Let's see if I can do this from memory. Curse of Frankenstein. I'm already A Castle of the Living Dead. To the Devil a Daughter.
Dracula, Jess Franco.
To the Devil a Daughter. And Jess Franco's Count Dracula. The Wicker Man. Horror Hotel. Not the Toby Hooper Horror Hotel.
Yeah.
AKA City of the Dead. Horror Express, which I cannot wait. I can't wait for my eyes are going to turn white during Horror Express.
Yeah.
And another movie that I can't remember right now.
I think it's Howling 2.
Unfortunately, it is not Howling 2.
I was hoping for Gremlins too, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love in Gremlins too that the Hammer Dracula music plays when he shows up.
Oh, the soundtrack in Gremlins too.
I think Joe Dante's my dream.
There's another director like I totally forgot about.
Getting insects bombing me.
I know.
He's made the thing I like of Joe Dante is like even like when he makes a sequel, it's a movie that hate fucks sequels. Like it like abuses everything about it. It comes out too late. Everything's all over the place. It's awesome. And like Small Soldiers is great too because it's like they made Happy Meal figures for Small Soldiers, and it's the most anti-military industrial complex movie ever for kids. And it's just like everything he did is great. Like and The Howling's the greatest movie ever. Werewolf movie, and sold as a slasher because they didn't want to make werewolf movies back then.
Yeah.
And it also has one of the grimiest porn scenes ever in a movie. It's upsetting.
It is
just
really.
So much of it's just messed up. Yeah.
There's so many beautiful shots in that movie. I could go on and on. Like that scene where they take Dee Wallace out of the porn theater after they shoot Eddie, and she's like standing there huddled with all these people around her. She's like, I don't remember what happened in there. And then the camera like moves over in this beautiful fluid movement. All those lights go together, and all of a sudden she's in her own living room, sleeping on her couch and having a nightmare.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big Burbs guy too, so.
Oh, that's a nice looking movie.
Love that.
The Burbs.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
And Brother Theodore's in it, so it's a big win for me.
It's so good. I love that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, he just has so many movies where you're just like, and even like his Looney Tunes movie is really Back in Action's really good too. It has so much weird shit in it. Vernon Wells is in it. It's got some really crazy little moments in it. You're like, why does no one ever talk about this movie? And it's kind of sucks that they don't. Dante's amazing.
Inner Space is a big one for me.
Oh, Inner Space is great. Yeah.
Only Joe Dante could take a Slayer song about Joseph Mengele and put it in a kids movie.
Yeah.
Sick.
Plus, he's like a treasure trove of info, with his trailers from hell and, being a zine writer in the past and stuff. Like, he just knows stuff. It's just amazing. Like, that's what I love. And he cut so many trailers I just read an interview with him on AV Club where he talked about he didn't like any of his trailers because he realized that like he was cutting them as a director would look at trailers where he's like, I didn't want to give anything away. And he's like, no, that's my job in the trailer to give stuff away. He's like, so I had to kind of back off and not cut my own trailers anymore.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to give it away because you're so married to the material, and you're like, but like you're not. You're like, yep, here you go. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, it was a lot easier when I was doing these Corman movies, and like I'll just pick the best 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And arguably his trailers for those movies are better than the movies themselves. Yeah. Yeah, he's someone I would say there are very few misses. Whoa, I got big all of a sudden.
Did you?
Yeah, my head just filled the screen. It was upsetting.
I have some fun ads to look at from the UK that I shared on the page this week, and I couldn't wait to make you guys look at them. Here's the first one. Toys are not for children. And second feature, Booby Trap.
Booby Trap.
That's not the John Russo booby trap, is it?
Oh,
It's
God.
not.
No.
No, these were movies that were Harry Novak presentations. In other words, small independent films that he stole from the directors and released and never paid them anything for it.
Good.
Toys Are Not for Children is a very upsetting movie. Like,
Yeah.
I like that it was sold like it's an adults only movie. No, it's not gonna. You're not gonna get off at all. It's very upsetting.
Toys Are Not for Children is very upsetting.
Yeah, I remember you watching. You're like, I love this movie. I love it.
Toys Are Not for Children.
Oh, you know, I keep hearing us delayed. Someone has us on their phone or something.
Not me.
So here's the next one.
Oh,
Now the movie in the UK was known as Snake. Yeah.
Oh.
Snake.
I once read that names that begin with the letter S are the names of snakes. And The Boy Who Cried Werewolf.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty cool.
What's going on there?
It's a fabulous RV movie. There's a great
Ooh.
RV scene in it.
Actually, I never seen The Boy Who Cried Werewolf.
It's pretty good.
El Topo.
Hmm.
Oh, Bill, it's
Just for
me.
Sam.
Yeah. Yeah.
A monumental work of filmic art.
Oh.
Truer
Very
words.
filmic.
I cried when I saw it in the theater. I won't lie. I got like overwhelmed by cinema.
Truer words never spoken.
And Becca's like, this movie sucks. She just did not like it at all.
Here's
Ooh.
another beautiful movie. Don't Look Now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's an interesting op art thing going on with Julie Christie and Donald Sutherland in this.
You see quite a bit of Donald Sutherland in that movie.
You sure
Yeah.
do, unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Those pictures of them look like they came out of their yearbooks.
Yeah. Class couple.
Donald Sutherland was probably fun to go to school with.
I
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure his classmates did think he was a stunner.
This movie got spoiled for me by somebody who carelessly mentioned. I wasn't even reading anything that had anything to do with Don't Look Now, but someone said, "Oh, it was just like the killer dwarf in Don't Look Now." And I was like, "Oh, it's a movie with a killer dwarf," and I
Yeah.
watched it, and it's the fucking twist at the end that
It
it's a
is.
dwarf.
Yeah.
So
It's like my brother called me up after The Sixth Sense and being like, it's great. Bruce Willis is a ghost. Thanks.
Yeah. Awesome, dude.
Never have to see it.
Yeah.
not
thank you.
nice.
Oh, wow. This is a great one.
Yeah.
What is Scream here, Bill?
Oh,
Is that?
I can't wait to tell you what Scream is. Let me see if you can guess first.
Is it the Night God
Yes, of course you knew
Yeah.
exactly what it was.
Scream? Well, from The Mask, and then Hell's Creatures is it's Paul Naschy, obviously, but it's the Frankenstein Naschy.
Yeah, Frankenstein's Bloody Terror,
Yeah.
which does not have.
How did I ever get laid? Like knowing this, like it's really crazy. How did I get married? I'm really lucky. My wife took pity on me.
Bonnie's
Oh.
kids.
Tiffany Bowling. This is a Sam double feature right here.
Yeah. Not only do we have the Tiffany Bowling vehicle, Bonnie's Kids, but there's also Scream and Die,
Oh.
which, Sam, you know what movie that is, right?
No, I don't.
This was known in the United States as, drumroll, The House That Vanished.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Scream and die.
Yes.
Would you please scream and die?
That Scream type looks like the font from Meteor too, which makes me love it even more.
Bonnie's Kids seems like it would be a sitcom on TGIF.
It does.
Yeah. Up after Family
Yeah,
Matters.
it's
Nice.
like a step-by-step spin-off. Yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
there they are, my picks for the week from the Groovy Doom Facebook page.
Some good picks.
Oh,
Nice.
you want to see what came in the mail this week?
Yes, I'm dying to see what came in the mail.
I got this is from MVD. It's a Randy Rhoads documentary.
Ah,
pretty good.
nice.
And it's hosted by Tracy Guns, which that means a little more to me. I'm pretty
Cool.
excited about that. So, yeah, so that'll be up on the site pretty soon. This is a new movie, They Crawl Beneath, which I have not seen yet, so I'm pretty excited.
That's cool.
Review.
It's like
Then I bought these two. I already spoiled this for these guys, but I'm super into all these 21st century. This is Menheim Golan's company after Canon. Holy shit, his Edgar Allan Poe movies are all horrible but awesome. And they're all made in South Africa. This is the Vinegar Syndrome release of it. Super excited. And speaking of Canon, I got I'm trying to get every Canon movie on Blu-ray. And this, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this.
Oh, I saw
Yeah.
that in college.
Yeah,
Me too.
It's a great movie.
I enjoy
I
it.
love this movie. Yeah. And Francis Ford Coppola, George Lucas worked on the first one, and Philip Glass doing the music. So I have 2 of the 3 now, and I got this at Half Price Books for $4, which I think is an amazing.
I saw that in college, and I really wish I had smoked weed before I went to see it. I didn't smoke back then, but that would have been great to see completely stoned.
This is also on the Church of Satan list, which I find hilarious.
Why?
That it's on the list. I think because it's about how technology moves world. This is after the Second Pentagonical Religion revision of LaVey being into android sex. Anyway, sorry, way too much about Church of Satan knowledge. But anyway, I really like this movie. That's what I got in the mail this week. It's a small week, but pretty exciting. And yeah.
I think that's plenty exciting.
Yeah. I'm finishing up the 21st century movies this week, and man, there's some awesome ones in it. I did not realize a couple of them, like the one Dance Macabre. I don't know if you guys have seen that with Robert Englund. It's kind of like Robert Englund plays 2 parts. He plays a woman in a wheelchair that teaches at a dance academy, and also another teacher. And it's kind of like Robert Englund in Suspiria, made in Russia. It's real fucking weird. It was supposed to be a sequel to Phantom of the Opera originally, the other 21st century one that he did for them. And it was supposed to be set in New York. Man, if that movie had been made. And then Buried Alive is the other one. And as soon as I finished watching it, I was like, man, Vinegar Syndrome should put this out. And that day I was like, holy shit, it's coming out from him. So it really feels like the right movie for them. It's like junky and all over the place and awesome. Also, Harry Allen Towers produced all these. Who, if you guys, he did a lot of Jess Franco's movies, and he ran a prostitution ring out of the UN in the '60s with Peter Lockwood. So yeah, also one of the first people to ever do syndicated radio in the '40s. He has a crazy life history and made 10 Little Indians like 6 times. He was obsessed with 10 Little Indians, so it kept getting made. Him working with Menheim Golan at the end is like the most gorgeous thing in the world to me. It's like, wow, what a bunch of maniacs. Bill also learned from I had a brain fart here, from Austin, that Menheim Golan almost restarted AIP in the late 80s. And there's an article in Cinema Fantastique about it. He's scanning it and sending it to me, which if that had happened, really, I'd probably be dead. I probably wouldn't be. It'd be like life would be too good. How can this happen? Man, what an amazing thing to be.
I mean, no matter what studio name he used, would the content really have been any different? I don't
It would have
know.
been just as weird and just as good.
Yeah.
The 21st century stuff is a mix between weird horror, which he didn't do as much horror in canon, and a lot of kickboxing movies, and I'm there for both of them. I mean, put Michael Quisty in a movie, and I'm like, yeah, all right. A lot of like really, he's Tom Poe from Kickboxer. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
And also a lot of Albert Pyon movies, including one that he shot on the set of Cyborg and didn't tell anyone he was shooting it. Shot it in like 20 hours. Cost $12,000, and he sold it for $2 million the 21st century, which
Damn.
is amazing.
That's a
And in the
number.
credits, he thanked Jean-Claude Van Damme for it because he hated Cyborg, and he said if he hadn't been through such a rough experience, he wouldn't have made this other movie and made so much money. And it's crazy because it's like a 3-person movie about aliens coming to Earth trying to decide whether or not to blow it up or have sex with women. And it's really talky, and it's awesome. Bill, you'd love it. It's like a whole movie with just aliens sitting in a warehouse talking to each other.
What's this one called?
Wait, I'll look it up.
They just kind of whiz
I'm
past you, don't they,
curious.
Greg?
This is basically Diner with aliens.
It really is. Deceit is the name of it. It came out in 1991. It's real good. It's like, well, it's Albert Pyon good, right? So
Yeah.
adjust your,
What's it called again?
Deceit.
Deceit. And they shot it on the Cyborg set.
Yeah, when they went back to do the reshoots, because he wanted Cyborg to be like a black and white spaghetti western with cyborgs, and everybody's name for guitars, whatever, Albert Pine. And then then he said, well, if I have to do these reshoots, I'm going to figure out a movie I can shoot on these same steps, same sets, and not tell anybody. They finished shooting on Friday. He had the equipment till Sunday. And they're like, well, this is all paid for other than the short ends that he got. And then he just shot it, which is amazing.
That's
And
awesome.
it's a real weird movie. Yeah. It's probably my favorite one of his. There's a lot of his where I'm like, yeah, I guess. Like, I don't really like Cyborg that much. I like Radioactive Dreams. Like, they're good, but they're like, but this is audacious that he made it.
Yeah. Let's check that out. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and I'm super excited for the movies next week, Bill, because I think I've mentioned before how much I like Leslie Laraz, and Vampires is probably arguably his best movie, and it's real weird and trippy and upsetting in parts. So I'm excited to watch that. And Invasion of the Bee Girls, I know you wanted to show for the first week of the show.
Yeah, probably from the very beginning, I wanted to show that movie, but it was never streaming anywhere. So I found it on Tubi, and I was like, oh, that's what we're doing next week.
Yeah.
Invasion of the Bee
Get it
Girls.
while it's on Tubi, right? Like, get it out.
Last week, it was actually screening here in Pittsburgh at the Parkway Theater.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
I could have seen it on the big
Rocks.
screen for the only time in my life, but I was here, and I'd rather be here.
We should have asked, like, hey, guys, could you maybe show it on a Friday?
Yeah.
I know you don't do a lot of stuff with the Parkway. Could you just move it to a Friday? Because Bill wants to see it.
There will be other chances. Neon Brainiacs, what is the next movie on your show?
Night Beast is coming out this Wednesday.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and we were talking Carpenter tonight. We just talked about Prince of Darkness. That's our latest episode that just came out a couple days ago. So, we're talking Night Beast next week. And, it was definitely an interesting conversation we had about it. So,
And you know what? It's almost 3:00 in the morning. There's still plenty of people in the chat. Let's give them a little sneak peek.
Yes.
October on Neon Brainiacs is 70s month.
that's right.
We're changing it up a little bit.
Yeah, we're doing, we're breaking the rules a little bit. And we're doing a bunch of movies from the 70s in October. So a lot of big bangers we're doing. So definitely going to want to tune in for that.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday, wherever you get podcasts, Neon Brainiacs.
These guys are fantastic. I loved what you said at the end of your podcast, the live one that we attended. You were talking about why you do this and what it means to you. And so I ask that question again here.
Greg?
For me, it's the whole impetus was kind of just to see movies that I always wanted to see and never brought myself to. So it kind of gave me a reason. But, you know, getting to hang out with Ben more so than I was, you know, when we started, and, you know, meeting a bunch of great people, watching a bunch of great movies, dunking on a lot of really bad movies, you know, has made a lot of like the, you know, late Tuesday nights when you got to wake up at like 5 a.m. to go to work the next day, but you want to get that episode out, has definitely made it worth it.
Yeah, it's really just an excuse to hang out and bullshit, and then meet great people like you guys,
Yeah.
Sam, Bill. Um, you know, it's it's just nice to meet people along the way and hang out and talk about things, and you know, something I wouldn't have been able to do if we didn't have this podcast. So yeah, and even meeting people. Um, you know, at the drive-in. Like I believe Tracy was there. I see her in the
Mhm.
comments.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. So like, it's crazy. So it means a lot, and yeah, it's just fun. You know, it's something to do. And I can't believe people tune in every week and like listen to us. So like that's pretty wild. Yeah.
What's the worst movie you guys have dunked on?
Oh,
I
I'm gonna get some hate if I.
yeah,
It's okay.
I'm not trying to cause anything.
so we got a
negative for you
lot
guys.
of guff for this, but we hated Microwave Massacre. Yeah, and
I'm
we
right
got
there with
we got
you.
a lot of vitriol thrown our way that week.
Yeah,
I didn't
people were
know it
really
had so many
upset.
fans.
Yeah, we didn't either. Yeah, I was like, really? I was like, okay, but yeah, we didn't like that one, and people thought we were too hard on that. And we were
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, it's okay. Like that's something we say too on the show is like, you know, even if we like dunked on it, you know, we're kind of, you know, clowning on the movie. If you like it, that's fine. Yeah, like I don't think you're
Yeah.
stupid or anything like that if you like a movie that I don't like. Like, film is subjective, you know, like people like what they like. I like a lot of movies that people don't like, you know, and vice versa. So, yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Like,
Like Darren said in the chat, he's like, I watched a Carol Baker movie and I didn't like it, and I want you to not hate me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
hate you because you don't like a Carol Baker movie. I might color the way that I think about things. No,
He will hate you, trust me.
he not like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's Umberto Lenzi and Carol Baker.
I'll give some more hints. It's a couple. The two we have solidified. We have talked about each film's director at length tonight. That's all I'll give you.
I
you're
think
going to have
it's
to tune
obvious.
in. Tune in Wednesdays, every Wednesday. Tune in, see what we do.
Wherever you get podcasts.
And you still tell people about your movies on Tubi too, right?
Yeah,
People can watch. Your
that's
films
right.
on Tubi.
That's right. Yeah.
The Beargun Brothers.
Yep. Bergeron Brothers, wedding videographers. It's all good. It's a comedy I directed. I'm really proud of. If you like mockumentaries, it's very funny. It's free on Tubi right now. If you like slashers, I did one called Slaughter Drive a few years ago. Yeah. That one is available on a bunch of different streaming services. And Lance is not here, but I'll plug his movie. If you liked Hunter's Blood tonight, check out his movie, The Boonies, and you might see me in that. But yeah, if you like Toby Hooper, if you like that kind of stuff, I think you'll really enjoy The Boonies, which is also streaming wherever you stream movies.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And there's also
Very
two guys that look a
strange.
lot like you guys in the barn too, but very strange.
That's
It's
right.
just
I am in the
very
barn
similar.
too,
It's like, wow.
which is coming out. I think it's going to be on DVD here in October.
Yeah.
Greg's in it too. He's a zombie.
For a split
Pretty
second.
funny. Yeah, you'll see him. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's really fun though. I really
I have a
like it.
lot of good friends
I'm
in that
excited
movie.
for
So
people
yeah.
to see it. You know, the other crazy thing that's happening in Pittsburgh is the guy who made WNUF
Oh, that's right.
Halloween
Knock it
special is
out.
going to play in Pittsburgh,
Yeah, the sequel that just came
which
out.
is crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
Like super hot.
Scare Tape, I think.
Yeah.
I just got the DVD of it. It's awesome. It's if you like the WNUF, it's like the mid '90s, the late '90s video version with tons of PSAs that feel really it's pretty good. And and I know they're bringing beer and mixed drinks and stuff to it. Like it's like a big party thing. Yeah.
Where's that at?
I want to say it's at the Harris, but I can't remember.
I think the Harris is right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to maybe go check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it because I like all the things he's done. Like I really also like Call Girl Cthulhu is really good. Like he's done some pretty fun movies. Chris Martina, I think's his name.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's at the Harris. The Harris gets movies like now and like they don't tell you. Like Stunt Rock played there for 2 days and like nobody said anything. It's like, you know what I mean? Like they have tons of really good stuff that plays there, and then I get a Facebook ad the day before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah, I can't.
Yeah. And Greg and I went and saw a Dinosaur Jr. documentary there like a few weeks back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah.
I think I found out about that like the day before. I was like, we need to go to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just excited, like especially like that Invasion of the Big Girls thing Bill brought up. I'm excited when movies get to play in Pittsburgh and and stuff happens here. Versus like, in the past, like, movies would the Bill has pointed out, like when he looks at old ads and posts them, like, wow, stuff like actually did play here. Like Women's Prison Massacre played the Showcase, didn't it? It played Showcase North.
It sure did.
Yeah. How come Bruno Mattei movie played Showcase North in Pittsburgh? Like, I was 9. Would my parents let me go see it? Of course not. But, like, Mom, I really like Laura Gemser. And she's like, who's that? And I'm like,
All right. So next weekend on the Drive-In Asylum double feature, we'll be doing Invasion of the Bee Girls and what was the other movie?
Vampires?
Vampires.
Vampires. That's right.
With a Y.
It's important to remember the Y. And very, very big thanks to the Neon Brainiacs for being on this week's program.
Thank you for having us. This was great.
Yeah, always a blast. We'll definitely come back anytime you want. So, yeah.
We're going to hold you to that.
Please do.
And thanks to everyone who hung out with us. We still got 14 people in the chat, and it's almost 3 a.m.
Yeah. Y'all are troopers.
Iron Man. Yeah.
And you all drink a lot of coffee, I'm sure. So have a great week. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next weekend. Be safe. Be well. Come back. Bye-bye.
Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian.